Seco presents a new generation of Secomax advanced technology cutting tool materials. Secomax CBN100, the first solid inserts for finish hard turning. And Secomax CBN150, new tipped inserts for finish hard turning with aggressive interrupted cuts. The CBN100 cuts the cost per edge significantly compared to brazed tip inserts and multi-corner inserts. The CBN150 complements the CBN100 in the finish machining of hardened ferrous materials and is intended for aggressive interrupted cuts. Heat generated in machining hard materials effectively softens the workpiece in the shear zone. A high temperature in the shear zone is necessary for successful machining with the CBN100 and CBN150. It is advantageous to machine without coolant. The solid CBN100 has been specially developed for finishing hardened steel. The CBN100 is best suited for light continuous cuts and moderate interruptions, as on this shaft. The CBN100 has a fine-grained structure and a low content of PCBN. The fine-grained structure gives the CBN100 an excellent edge quality. The CBN100 is a solid material. The number of cutting edges is the same as on a conventional carbide insert. On this shaft, the CBN100 more than doubles the output per edge. It is advantageous to machine components like this bearing ring in the hardened state. For this purpose, you can use the CBN300 for rough machining. And for the finishing job, you use the CBN100. The alternative is to grind or to machine in the softened state with conventional tools. With regards to cost efficiency, hard turning with the CBN300 and CBN100 can't be beat. A new breakthrough in hard turning has been achieved with the introduction of plunge turning. The plunging process is hard turning with an orthogonal cut. In other words, by using the full cutting edge length or only a part of it. This is possible using the solid CBN100. Let's have a look at an example where conventional hard turning can be replaced by plunge turning. First, conventional hard turning. And then plunge turning. The two greatest advantages with plunge turning in comparison with conventional turning are up to 90% reduction of cutting time and improved surface integrity. The most important properties of ground or hard-turned workpieces are dimension, roundness, straightness, bearing area, surface roughness, and residual stresses. For a gear wheel or a bearing ring, the following typical tolerances can be easily achieved with plunge turning. Diameter, plus or minus 15 microns. Roundness, 4 microns. Straightness, 4 microns. Bearing area, 90% at a depth of 2 microns. Surface roughness, RA value down to 0.2 microns. Residual stresses influence the fatigue properties of the final product. Ground workpieces show tensile residual stress deep below the surface. The conventional hard-turning process introduces tensile residual stresses at the surface, but changes to the desirable compressive residual stresses 2 microns below the surface. Plunge turning shows compressive residual stresses even at the surface. Plunge turning has great potential for decreasing manufacturing cost. The CBN150, just like the CBN100, is intended for the finishing of hardened steels. The CBN150 has, in comparison, a greater degree of toughness, but slightly lower wear resistance. The CBN150 is therefore best suited for finishing which involves aggressive interrupted cuts or where machine stability may not be optimal. Components like this shaft with splines and teeth can easily be machined with the CBN150. Here, the high degree of toughness and wear resistance of the CBN150 is the key to success. The sub-micron grained structure of the CBN150 gives an excellent edge quality. Grinding is still a common way of machining these types of components. In this case, the CBN150 reduces machining time by 45% compared to grinding. During the last decade, the turning of hardened components with PCBN has continuously increased and is today an established alternative to grinding. Reduced production time and thus lower costs have been major factors in the change. The flexibility and the possibility of machining without coolant are further aspects contributing to the interest in hard turning. When you use the new Secomax CBN100 and CBN150, you are laying the groundwork for cost-effective production. Secomax makes hard turning easy.